G'day, how are you going today? It's just wonderful to be able to sit and think about God. Do you know, when you think about God, it exercises a part of your brain, the spiritual part of your brain. It actually gives you a healthful, life-invigorating effect. You know, you end up being healthier, you live longer when you end up thinking about God. But here's the essential question. So many people have thought about God through the centuries over the last 2,000 years, Christian people, and they've come up with a version of God that allows them to go on crusades, that allows them to hate their neighbour, that allows them to conquer countries. And the question is simply this. Welcome to today's show. I'm James Toogood, and I'd like to ask you this question. Why is it that Christianity is so tempered with political power and might? And how on earth could anybody seriously believe in a God if they think that Christians are the kind of people who, because of their faith, want to impose it upon the rest of the world? To help us launch off the discussion, we've got Pastor Neil Thompson. G'day, Neil.
Hi, James.
It's a good question, isn't it?
It is a great question. Yeah, it is a very good question.
And many people ask it.
They do, in all sorts of ways, and large populations of the world keep asking it, and they keep going back to the Crusades as a dark point in Christian history. Yeah, absolutely.
Christians attacking Muslims?
Attacking Muslims, and not just that, but Christians attacking Christians attacking anyone who's there and wanting to dominate and take over.
Well, they did, didn't they? And when you think about it, in Europe, Northern Europe, forget about Christianity versus the Muslim faith, Neil. You had Christians, you had the Catholic Christians killing Lutherans.
That's right.
Lutherans drowning Baptists.
That's right.
In England, you had the Anglicans knocking off the Methodists.
And no one would have survived only for the Mayflower sailing to the New World in America.
To the New World, to escape. Yeah. So the story of Christian history in medieval times hasn't been so good. But think about, well, Australia, New Zealand. Who populated here?
Well, that's right. I mean, Church of England came out, started populating here, but then their record, the Christian record, you know, of decimating Aboriginal people, the early settlers. It's shocking sort of history of what these people did. And part of it was because of the distortion of their theological views. They believed that Aboriginal people were less human than they were. Now, of course, that's not something that I personally or our church would hold, but that's a view that they had at the time.
You know, later we're talking to Heather, Naomi, about this. But the American slaves, the Negro slaves in America, Christian masters.
Yep. Yeah, that's right. And so the story goes, I mean, we can use our beliefs to do the most barbaric things. And I think that's a shocking thing. Certainly not the kind of church that Jesus wanted to establish at all.
Yeah, well, when President Lincoln was trying to free the American slaves, of course, the good Southern Christians they were Protestants. What were they doing?
Yeah, well, they out making war against the North.
Yeah, and they were quoting Bible texts while they did so.
Yep.
When you stop to think it's a pretty sad tale. And the real question, the essential question is, for me, this. Could you trust a God like that? Do you really think that God knew in advance what was going to happen? Could you trust him to know? Well, let's go back 2,000 years ago and we see a vision of St. John.